Okay, it's Friday, but we're here. It's real sleepy hours, but we're here. Get that mouse off that screen, boy. What are we doing? Oh! Oh, I don't have everlasting life. God forbid I play without seamless music. Hello, Light General. Late? I mean, I said I was gonna be like 5-10 minutes late, and I was right. I was on my way back home, but then I was like, "Ooh, I forgot that I need to get gas, so I had to get gas." So I was a tiny bit later than I intended to be. And not getting gas really wasn't an option, so... Oh, we're here. It's Friday. Which means it's the weekend. Which means even if I'm tired, I'm drinking caffeine right now. And I don't got anything to wake up for in the morning, so... Should I be up till 11 o'clock or something? I'm not sweating. In fact, the only like time restraint for me waking up tomorrow is waking up early enough that I can make food before I stream, and that's at 2. So I got all the time in the world. I love 2/3 movement. Look at the homing putting in work. Less than 5 minutes for my first Sanyo of the day? Based? Incredibly based? That was not good damage on that last wave. Never mind, it's perfectly fine. Always complain that something goes wrong, because then it'll go well. Well. Except for when she decides to do that wave and move down left. Just a wombo combo. Do we get past Sanyo? I mean, technically, I've already gotten past Sanyo once. Too bad. Weird corner line. I probably shouldn't have moved and tried to kill, but... I mean, realistically, the answer is we'll get past Sanyo when we get the LNN. So it's gonna be a while. Like, there's a realistic world of saying that Sanyo's the second hardest boss of the game. Whether or not that I actually stick with that opinion, that's a whole other thing. But there's a world where it's like, she might be the second hardest boss in the game. And appearing as early as she does, it's just, she requires so much effort. Because again, like, I have done Sanyo many times, obviously, but I've also done it on a run now. Unfortunately, it's not about doing it once. It's about making it it's about getting good Sanyos and making them business as usual. Like, I have done it before, but I need to, I do need to get to the point where I'm able to successfully chain back to back to back, potentially more Sanyos. Those are really nice and hiding on, too. We quite appreciate those. Uh-oh. This is why we need more experience. So when there's a little bit of pressure, you don't just buckle immediately. Hey, that's 2 in a row. Oh, yeah, that was that line. I would straight right. I need to go straight up there, but... So, that's what I was talking about, back to back. You know what that means? Try to make it business as usual. Oh, what a line, my guy. Damn, apparently Friday night when I, like, and at the end of the week, I'm the most tired. So I haven't gotten, it's been forever since I've got to sleep in. Is apparently the greatest day for playing Touhou. I will stand by. I'm currently under the belief that spell one is your hardest attack. On average. Type of moves it makes you do. Another 2 in a row? Spell one is disgusting. That first wave there was unpleasant. My fingers are sweaty. Ichi moved to the right. Oh no, my 3 in a row. Dash. Okay. That's easily the best Sanyos I've ever done. Though. Maybe I should turn today into a suffocation day. Do a day where I say I should stop sitting there crying about suffocation and actually man up. Ooh, that was foolish movement. Okay, let's go suffocate. Let's finally spend the time and try to get some feels for this. So I always trap myself. I think I played too one-dimensional with my dodges. I gotta play wider like I am. Oop. Yeah. Hello, Kazoots. Gentleman, I'm a man, but I'm not gentle. No, I'm actually the perfect gentleman. But hello, Kazoots. Hope you're doing well. Honestly, the slower-paced nature of this compared to Spell 1 throws me off. Obviously, kind of makes this easier, but... I don't think I should play as aggressive up into the beginnings as that. I think playing aggressively horizontal on this attack is probably good. But I think vertically, you should be a lot more careful because of the next waves. Fortunately, the reality of this is it's a really execution-based attack. Ooh, I didn't realize shit. Oh, nice. Beautiful world this will be? What do you mean will be? What are you doing to the world? Are we purifying the world? Did you turn into a Lunarian? I always knew there was something fishy about you, Fammy. But hello, Fammy. Hope you're doing well. Oop. Take me for a lunar. Well, you said what a beautiful world this will be. I'm like, I'm just unsure. It's like, have you turned into a Lunarian? Are you trying to purify the world? Because you say will be. I'm like, what are you doing to the world? Like, I'm just precautious is all. Okay, that was it. Yokai no Lunarian promotion to Yokai was very recent. Congratulations, or sorry about your loss. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, so... Oop. I'm mixed on my opinion. Here. This is an attack I really wish true homing existed. Alas. I will keep crying about it, but it will not come true. FW homing would go insane right here. Sometimes you dance around and you make it last 47 seconds, which is a bad thing on this attack. Because unfortunately, for being a very long attack and an attack you want to play safe on, it gets harder as the attack goes on, because she shoots more bullets. So, you read all the stuff from the Zune stream today. I only read the snippets that you put into my Discord. I read you mentioned something about him talking about making a balance patch for Touhou 20. but also the fact that he said he would make one for 18 and never did, so who knows. Otherwise, I didn't hear too much of note. I don't know if there was anything else of super note. I'm starting to appreciate this attack more and more, although there are aspects of it that I'm hesitant on. She was too hyper and alive, only died one heart thing. Got Goose time out. Well, Goose is literally free. Clearly. What was he doing? Was he doing Y2 or was he doing something else? I'm assuming Y2 because I think he's a sane man. But I was about to say, well, he does have literally every Windows LNN asterisk prior to Touhou 20, and I don't know if any sane man would do that. So then I took that back. R1. R1 is unfocused boost, right? No, that's for the passive effect. R1 is just needles during hyper. Right, speed all that stuff, I see it. Ooh, Friday night moment. We'll ignore the phenomenal Zagnos I just had. I'm learning to appreciate this spell in terms of its strategy. I don't like... Playing the cry chat room. Well, Saga's actually plays the thing. Not lesser players. It just depends on the groups and for what they are. Don't get me started on Japanese Labyrinth of Tri players crying over their dungeon design. And yes, that was mostly Japanese players, and then the English players gave their distaste for 3 Pesos decision afterwards, and then he brought it back to the way it should be. Okay, nice cap again. Crap about Goose. I like Goose. I understand the movement RNG complaints about it, with the fact that she moves, making it distasteful in that regard. But I think there's so much you can do on that attack, and it's not as fast as something like PDH at throughout PDH's problem parts. I think Goose has more. I don't know if I should say player agency, but that's the word that comes to mind. Oops. Yes, bad movement RNG can be a problem. I think there's a lot you can do on Goose. Or that may be slightly easier on Goose than some other bullshit attacks. Not to say that it isn't an insanely hard attack. This attack is not necessarily the best to play in succession. The thing I like about this attack is the strategy. I'm really liking the strategy behind what you want to do. The thing I kind of dislike is just how execution heavy it is. because these bullet types have zero, like, friendliness in terms of hitboxes. And it's very tight for some of the good dodges. But otherwise, I'm going to appreciate this. Give everyone free signed copies of UFO, babe. UFO real alien took 1cc. And you get a signed copy of Toad. It's the worst one. I didn't know he was handing out signed Imperishable Knight. I don't think Perishable Knight's the worst one. I just like shit-talking it occasionally. The reading on this definitely feels a lot different than the first spell, even if it's like similar in concept. Okay, that was. See, that's the hard thing about this attack, and why doing it in repetition is not always the best for this. Is you need to constantly be super wide-eyed on this attack. I get too complacent on like one spot I want to aim for, and then force it just to be disastrous. It's not Peerless Wind God, obviously. It's notably easier, but like, I kind of feel like you have to treat it like it in terms of like where to move, which is cool. I think one of the things that complicates this deck a little bit is the fact that the balls coming down are doing so at like a slight like angle left or right. Not my finest lines, but it worked. Definitely easier than spell 1, but to be fair, there are not a lot of things that are harder than spell 1 to Touhou. Especially with Rainbow. Oop! I didn't see one of those bullets, the higher of the red ones. Oh, why was the red one in the corner? They only bounced 4 times, and apparently that was 6-4. I think that's the limit, from what I've heard people say. tap all, get pretty good attempt altogether, but push to the corner. Okay, one more and I'll officially doubled my caps. And that'll be just then within just the last like 15 minutes. About 15, 17 minutes at this point. Oh, I hesitated my line to the right. Should've just gone left. I went to the right and then I decided maybe I shouldn't go to the right. I wavered for too long in a bad spot as well. Okay, that was just me deciding I should read ahead enough. The attack looks like it should have enough structure to, like, try to take some educated guesses as to how they break down, but unfortunately just way too random for that. Get me out of the corner. I would like to actually deal damage to the boss. Oops! Likely ban evader. Account created 18 hours ago. Weird. Oh, give me one more. One more cap. Move on to something else. Go with it. Okay, that. You want to try to get your damage in, but like, don't do anything unnecessary. Like that. Some of those attacks I think will have an advantage in runs. Well, at a certain point, yes. Oh, I wish I could have that. That would have been sick. These are not my finest attempts at this very second. Although to be fair, my finest attempts were literally like 6 minutes ago. Yeah. I'm betraying my rules. Okay, that was what it is. I say about getting too locked in on a specific read that you want, that you're trying to make. You're trying to force is the better way to put it. Again, same thing. Although, the awkward thing is, like, to be fair, the fact that it just gets denser as it goes on. So I guess the idea that, because it works well in this early part, but it does get worse. Not an attack to be trifled with. That's for show. Hey, there's the 20th cat. Yeah, let's go do some of this. No, let's do this first. Ooh, yeah. Oops. You know how much better this non would be if you could just, like, kill it? You wouldn't have to do so much of this BS. There we go. That was the nice one. The one thing you do not want to happen. Yeah, Pat. You want to be on the outside of the greens. Oops. Not the end of the world if you kill it early. Like even if it's only like if it's like 5 seconds, it's also not that big of a deal, but you also don't have to bait that last wave. Wow, 0.06. It's literally like the best you can possibly get for a time zone. Let's see what it looks like then. Dude, 0.06 and it's still disgusting. Hello, Zebra. Oops. Favorite thing to do on this attack? It's just walk into the green bullet. I should be more willing to, on the second wave, just stop shooting early and let myself on the start of the third wave to edge it down. 2, 1, 0. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Uh-oh. What'd you do, 11? Let's kill 11. And again? Are you saying that happened to you? Did you get leg locked, you poor thing? It's a good day, you can feel the LNN in your veins. Good news, it is a very good day so far. Like, it's actually been just phenomenal. Bad news, it's not going to be an LNN day. Okay, if you do this, you should earn the kill. If you mess up on, like, wave 3, just take the early kill. Don't forget to ask your Zoom what he was doing when he made this. What's the best way to go through this? Do I just do it like this? How do you get through? I can worry about those blue wisps some other time. Your theory is that Zoom started randomly copying parts of code for previous spells and mashed them together with a recent game to see what sticks. Definitely. There could be no other alternatives. Oops. You gotta wait a little bit. This non is so much worse than the Sage 6 one. And 1.41 doesn't really make that much of a difference. Hello, Buggo. Hope you're doing well. Excuse me. Oops, I should be shooting my homing during this. I should really get a better habit of that, which is where I spend the entire third wave edging her. I'm just practicing a bunch of things that I have done, quote unquote, but I haven't really put a lot of time into. My Sanyo practice was going so unbelievably good for me that I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do some suffocation. So I did some yin yang suffocation. Now I'm doing this. And we'll do some Megamoo poopy butt part. Poor Fox, she deserves it. Have you seen what she's done? Oops. Have you seen the war crimes she has committed? Sokka's the first guy to get every single Windows LNN. This shitty pattern has like an exploit to it per se, and it still bothers me. Oops. Finger one's every single shot type. At least every single Windows shot type pre-Touhou 19. Does he have every 18 LNN? So I know he had them at one point, but like obviously new games came out. Now I think about it, I know he doesn't have every single 20, because obviously. No, 19. Okay, he does have 18, though. I figure he doesn't have 19, because most people don't touch the Phantasmagoria games much. At the very least, not seriously. Or not LNN-wise. You're right, you doll. You wish you were with this girl. So players that much? You just into me. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult with knowing you. You just that into me, 11? Oh my gosh. Slay. Sorry, but I don't swing that way, but like, I appreciate it. Was that too much? Because there was one other player that got all the Windows ones, right? Like KP or something was the name? I remember seeing the name. I feel like a Gadia. The item is INC, the ultimate true challenge. No all gold medals, like, is it even a real player? Doesn't even have a Touhou fighting game LNN. Not even a real player. SMH my head. Ooh, that's also a good point to edge her on here too. So you have a lot of every GFW goal repeats. Ooh, that's neat. I didn't know that one. I like adjusting your... I never realized that you have so much... other time to edge her on. I'll have to revisit... Oh, oops. I'll have to revisit this tomorrow. Try to make sure I'm on fleek with it. Nice. Okay, the Wild Dance of the Sky Racing Heavenly Blank. I can use Japanese, yeah. Bammy, do you know off the top of your head, is Blue Moss European? Because I don't think because he's not an Asian player, right? Because I know, what is it? Yats was the first Western Touhou player to LNN, have an LNN in every Windows game when that happened. When he did that several years ago. I'm trying to think of like modern players, because like Sock and whoever the other person is was like the other person. He's North American. Okay, I thought he was Western, but I wasn't actually for sure. You get invited to the Zoom interview? I had to turn it down. I was too busy. So I know a large amount of the actual top players are Asian, but and I knew Yats was the first Western player to have an LNN every Windows game when that happened, and I knew Blue Bus has been making a lot of waves near the top of the list as of late. But I wasn't. But then I thought of it. I was like, I don't think he's Asian. I think he's a Western player. But I didn't know for sure. Bamba, hello, Domikos. Thanks for travel to. Unfortunately, Lunatic Touhou gameplay especially, or like scoring gameplay, you know, either survival or scoring gameplay, just doesn't have the base to have live things for, right? Dora, when we get a billionaire in the scene to actually be able to fund tournaments and have prize pools, because by the way, that's another thing. Touhou doesn't have any money in the scene. Which is, like, fair. It's not like a problem per se, but, like, it's hard to have major events with no money in the scene like that, right? Oops. But shmups as a whole is a kind of a niche genre, one would argue. Is there a world? Wait. No. No, don't start thinking about bad things here, my guy. Fighting game tournament. I do know, like, some, like, actual, like, Genesis and stuff have had, like, backroom, Touhou fighting game tournaments. Those are, first of all, they're fighting games, which are arguably, like, a bigger genre. And those usually take place in, like, actual, normal, like, fighting game tournament, like, venues. Where, like, other fighting games are being hosted. Also, I don't believe they have, like, particularly, like, major turnouts or prize pools. Don't worry, guys. All you gotta do is fund me to be the first billionaire Touhou player, and then when I get $1 billion, I will I will sponsor Touhou events. Okay, all you guys gotta do is donate money so I can get $1 million. Got it? It's just that easy. Skydrift. Yeah. Although, are any of those in person, or do those tend to be online for the Ginzu Skydrift? Skydrift's fun. I have not drank in forever, but like the few times I play Ginzu Skydrift. My older sister's wedding. We get done with that. We went back to our place, drank and played Ginzu Skydrift for like 4 hours. Need Naru or Asprey to organize an event. I hate to break it, but I don't. Something tells me they don't have the funds to do that. Just a hunch. Plus, if I had a mild amount of money, the first thing I would pay people to do for Touhou modding is like. See, this is why I need $1 billion. Because if I had $1 million, I would pay people to make a definitive version of Touhou Soccer. And if I had $10 million, where was I going with this? I would pay people to make puppet dance performance double battles, so we could have an actual VGC, and I'd sponsor those tournaments. If I had $100 million, I'd pay people to make pod multiplayer. If I had $1 billion, then I will host major Touhou shmup tournaments. Ready for that? Puppet Dance BNC. Unfortunately, that's just, like, not realistic in the slightest, because the original group behind Puppet Dance Performance is no longer there. So all, like, the modern stuff is all, like, mods, per se, right? Like Shard of Dreams Extended and stuff. So you can't... They don't have the rights to sell that on... to put that on Steam, I believe, is the kind of the problem with Puppet Dance Performance in that regard. Need 10k euros? I don't have 10k euros! Well, what's actually the current translation? I mean, I do have money in my bank account. But, like, I kind of want I kind of need to save that money, right? Like, I currently am not at, like, that's the problem. Like, if I had $1 billion, I could fund all these things. I wouldn't have to worry about, like, you know, myself. But, like, as much as I'd love to fund things, like, I could probably pay people to do some of these things with the money I have. Maybe not the tournaments, but, like, some of that stuff. But the problem is, then what money do I have, right? Because, like, I kind of need my current money to, like, live, right? Successful Supreme's category it's still for it. I hate to break it to you, but last I checked, like, Asprey says that he still, like, works a job because he doesn't make enough from streaming and his VODs on YouTube to do that. Last I heard, at least. I don't watch him regularly nowadays. I don't have the time. I used to a bit. I don't know about Naro exactly. I would bet he's in the same category, but I don't want to speak without knowing. To be fair, like, one of the more successful, like, Twitch streamers that I know of, that at least I watch, has said many times that most of his money, he, like, despite averaging over 1,000 views on Twitch, the majority of the money he makes is through YouTube. Is through posting edited YouTube content. Despite having, like, over 1,000 people watching him. And he said many times that, like, a lot of what he does on stream is tailored a way to make better YouTube content because that's where he makes his money. Right? And so I don't know the exact number off the top of my head right now, but like, in terms of me, and, like, this isn't me necessarily tooting my own horn, this is just saying how, you know, much of a disparity there is on Twitch. Like, I'm in a high up view percentile, regularly speaking. Like, I am in one of the upper percentages of, like, Twitch views. Which is not me being like, oh, I'm so famous or anything. It's just the disparity of, like, of how it is on Twitch. Twitch also doesn't help themselves with some of their, which is, that was too fast. I gotta not do, I gotta wait till after the ball goes to, dash around. Even if it looks favorable, I probably should just never, like, not do that. Like, the thing about Twitch is that, like, ad money is never gonna be, like, never gonna be worth much. Like, serious. Like, you could probably make, like, you can definitely, if you're a big streamer, you can definitely make, like, solid money. Like, a fair amount of money off of ad money, but... ad money is never gonna be really worth much on Twitch. And so so most of it comes from making, you know, it comes from subs and donations, and that's also a big thing. Where YouTube, you don't have as much of the of like subs and donations per se. Although YouTube memberships do exist, and like super chats and stuff, but views on VODs are definitely worth more in that regard. Crimson Clover. What is Crimson Clover? So 4 years ago, just in the Blitz. Oh, nice. Neat. Yeah. I hate diagonal micros. Although I'm definitely getting my lines a bit better. Bit by bit, step by step. Like how everything is. I should be a bit more patient with these micros here, usually. Kind of let them form around me, play defensive. It's like theoretically worse for damage, but that's not really a big deal on this attack. Like, I'm my own worst enemy here. Shmup, okay. I think I have to be very cognizant of that on this attack. But I think the biggest issue is just... that one was a misread of the purple bullet, because there's a purple bullet that was not a part of the wave I was trying to do. Pretend it's like Mega Moon on 3? And just don't play diagonally, because it's dangerous? Diagonal-based gameplay is sketchy. By the power of homing. Okay. That's good improvement there. I aced turn. You gotta be 200 sales. The newest entry invested everything to a custom-made figurine. Cool, Aya. This Aya figure does not have as big of boobs as the game does, though. Also, 11, where's my translation for it? I mostly say that in jest, because, like, even if it came out right now, I don't have the time slots on stream to play it. Cooling over the next 2 days. Great. Supposed to get dumped with a bunch of snow on Wednesday again. Yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay! Look at this, little poopy butt. So this is an attack I have too much time in. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. So the way you want to do this is you want to look at the first laser and then base everything else off around that. First laser, do the star dash, plant with the other laser. First laser, do the star dash, base everything else. Okay, that's too high. The good thing about the lasers here is that the hitboxes are your friends, as you can see. Mito! Again, first laser, find the line through the stars. Okay, that was bad. That was just one of the very convenient. You gotta be careful, like, that's a wave that could really be tricky, because, like, the strat is, like, pretty good, but depending on the arc of the bullets can really fuck you over. Those later might just get a fight. Your skirt blasted to pieces, but Reibu's fine. Yeah. Hitbox. All that matters is that your heart doesn't get touched. Look at that. This is an attack that, it shouldn't be that bad, relatively speaking, to some things, but it's very important that you do try to play a little bit aggressive to maximize your damage, because of how much tighter it gets as it goes on. Because you do not want to have to do more star waves. Are we winning? It's basically just practice, but, in fact, it's been all but, like, 2 minutes of practice. But it's been phenomenal practice. Hello, Game Glitcher. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're terribly. Hope you've been suffering. I jest. Yeah, you should not. Don't play aggressive through the stars like that. The stars come to you and, spend the time playing through the lasers. But, like, I was having phenomenal Sanyos earlier. I had multiple back-to-back Sanyos. I literally, in 15 minutes, I had the best Sanyos I've ever had in practice, so that's a great sign. I betrayed my wisdom. Well, okay. There are a lot of moving parts to this attack. Like, no single part is bad. It's just there are a lot of them that makes the there are a lot of them that make things awkward. Not like too bad, but awkward. Again, focus on the first laser. I get distracted too easily. The stars really fuck things up. The stars and sometimes like sometimes like that when that like line just goes low like that and just right up your rectum. I think in that situation you just gotta deal with the fact you're gonna have a tight micro usually and, well, deal with it. Like that. Well, you don't have to be this low, girl. Like, the fuck? Holy low! Very pretty attack. Some might argue one of the prettiest attacks in Alto. Get lines. First laser. Boom. Red one. Then dodge everything else. Purple laser. Going low again. Listen, I need an excuse. Right? Obviously, the correct answer to every attack is to never blame luck. Even when luck is involved, and try to look to what you can do better. Oops, I should do that. Oh, my R button stopped working. In-game. It works fine out of game. Girl? You can go up. How many am I up to? 16? I think I was at 11. Let's go to 22. Ooh. Hey, Taylor Swift fans here? Oh my gosh. That is Taylor Swift, right? I'm not mistaking her for some other pop singer. Surely. Yeah. Obviously, RNG is a big factor. There are a lot of attacks that vary significantly depending on RNG. Downward movement is like never something you want to see. There are lines that are obviously significantly more disgusting. Generally speaking, there's always something you could do. 99.999% of the time. And you know what? If you're one of those other, like, 0.001%, just embrace it. Also, if you die to RNG and you're like, I got unlucky over that one, you probably didn't get the 0.001%. Like, let's be real. It's not, like, you're not gonna die to something like that. It can exist. But you didn't die to that. That's a hitbox moment and a half if I've ever seen one. That shit on G. Yeah, it's a natural reaction to get upset when bad things happen. When you die, it's natural to be unhappy. It's a natural to be like, that's bullshit. Like there's nothing wrong with being upset when you die. That's usually what drives people to play better. Or often can be what drives people to play better. But, you know, there's too far. If I just want 10, I could go to 21, but I want to go to 22 and double my caps. Double my caps in less than a total attempt I had before. That'd be pretty cool. Hitboxes. I wonder at the base of the circle that spawns the laser, where the laser stops and starts. It's a good question. It's not that big of a deal, but it is something that's interesting to think about. First laser, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I did the thing. That's on me. I did the thing where I focused too much on the stars and not on the first laser. Which is obviously, again, the thing you need to look at the most. Because you can do that micro. As long as you can do... What did I just say? Oh, my R button's working again. Like, look how close that purple wave was to me, and I still managed to microwave my way through it. It's all about the first laser. It's not all about the first laser. It's mostly about the first laser. Because the other lasers, you tend to have a lot more time to play around. Okay, one more. Like, look at that hitbox. Okay, that is 11 caps in under 33 attempts. Only about 30 attempts. I think like 29 or 30. Amazon, you have package shipped. Wow, that's quirky. Or it's never your fault, it's always the game's fault. It's the people that are in your computer that are messing with the game. I hate to see it. They're cheating. That's not what I want to do. I heard the boss music. I was like, that's not what I came for. Oof. Seriously, while shooting bullets off screen, you hate to see it. There are fairies in your walls. Tear down your walls and get the fairies out. I don't like dodging the red and purple bullets necessarily on this attack, but it's definitely a better non to do than the other Tsukasa one because of the fact that you don't care about timing it down really. Like maybe you're someone who does, but it's definitely not. Fairies mode is terribly odd, Barons. You got him. I drifted into it. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this type of pattern. It's a wonky pattern. Okay, let's do a bit of her, actually. Let's do a little bit of this. Not too much, probably only a few attempts. Let's see if I got a couple touches in me. Sick. Get like one more? Two in a row? Come on. Come on, baby. Give it to me. I don't know why I say give it to me, like I need her to behave. Oh yeah, that was it. Like, there's a little bit she can do. If she moves down, it makes it actually kind of awkward. Like, she has to go pretty low for that to actually be, like, a problem. And even then, it's only starting on the second wave, so... Death of the first wave is still as it is. Ooh, she died late. I forgot what to do. My brain shortcut. You know, it's already 8:30. It's been almost an hour and a half. Like, it's a Friday. I should expect my brain to fall off at some point, right? Doing disgusting low. Dies just in time. Okay, let's give the final some love. I haven't given it a fair bit of love in a hot second. It's a really cool final, like, design-wise, in my opinion. Spell. Nice, okay. How sexually low is too sexually low for Twitch chat? I think it kind of depends on, like, the words involved, right? Like, if you make innuendos, that's fine. If you start, like, if you start using, like, if you put, like, 1 or 2 sexual words, it's fine. But, like, when you start throwing a lot of it together, it becomes, like, a little right? You also usually want to do it in a way that, like, implies that it's, you know, exaggerate it in a way to imply that it's a joke. Although it's the internet, that can be hard to do. I'm moving too quickly. Nice. You talked about getting rammed in the ass all the time. I wouldn't call that too sexually loaded. Like, again, it falls in the category. It's like, oh, fuck my ass. You know, she's bending me over and ramming me. It's like there's innuendos. There's like 1 or 2 bad things said there, right? Like, it's when you really. You have to sub if you read out a screenshot. You don't have to give me a sub for that. That's not one of those things I want. I don't want to incentivize people giving me money to say things. Like, that's one thing I very much do not want to do. I will read things if I deem it appropriate. Absolutely. Put something in if I deem it appropriate, I'll probably say it. But I'm not, but, like, context matters as well, right? Also, of course, don't say anything that, you know, is not a Twitch happy word, right? Oops. First sentence. I'll read it and I'll determine what I will about it. Generally, a solid rule of thumb is if you're, like, questionable about it, probably don't. Like, if you think there might be a problem. I think this final, like, even if the final wave is relatively consistent, I still think it's such a cool wave. Oops. Surely it can't be that bad. The routing file looks so bad. Fair. Although that's a lot of routing-based things, but definitely. Yeah, you see, this is one of those things that's like, it's... Like, if you were like... This is one of those things that just, it's too much, and for what, right? Like, that's one of those things that you, like, reference. You're like, oh, hey, remember that Nue Fuda cock thing? You, like, say that, but you don't say the rest of it, right? Like, that's too much. In my opinion. Oop. I should probably stay towards the middle. There's like a couple awkward left to right bullets there. I was like, maybe I don't want to do that. And then I realized I should have just done that. Average Nue fans? I don't think that's the average Nue fan. I think that's just people who write something for the sake of getting reactions. And who get off on that type of thing, but that's, I wouldn't say that's an average thing. Back, what do you miss? Poop, butt, fart. No way, yeah, unfortunately, it's tragic, isn't it? I don't know, you missed some solid practice. Ooh, I forgot you want to dash right and then come back left. Yeah. I didn't say that those exact words, 11, but like, that's close enough to what I said. Eleven asked me the question, how sexually loaded is too sexually loaded for Twitch chat, and I gave him the answer. Like the thing about that Nue thing too is it's like there's a distinct difference, especially in the context of like a Twitch chat here, of saying like, you know, Nue Fuda sex versus very descriptions of, very detailed descriptions of like, of that exact thing, right? No fun allowed, you poor thing. Especially when you get to that point is when it starts to like get to like fetish content, like borderline fetish content, right? Fill me in on the Nue Fuda. There's not really much to be filled in. 11 asked me how sexually loaded is too sexually loaded. I kind of gave my answer, and then he asked, read this and let me know if, let me know how this is. And he showed me something, and I explained my, and it's just a massive like post of someone be very detailed, descript, new age food of sex, and I said, that's too much, in my opinion. So boom, that's the deets. Close enough to it. If you want the post, you can ask 11 for it. He can send it to you on like Discord. Better do it before Discord decides to turn everyone's account to teenager accounts, because yes, online. We're going to use our identification. Meanwhile, ignore the fact that recently we had thousands of IDs, like, and internal data leaked. That never happened. Send us your personal information. We swear we don't record it. Information. I would not have been surprised if the Discord founder was like on the Epstein list. That's mostly a joke. Mostly. Did you pay for a free service? I know, I'll never use Nitro. Let's go back to my goat. And then maybe I'll do a little bit of runs for a little bit. You know what? Actually, I want to do some Tomorrow Spell 1 first, and then I'll close off in like 10 minutes or something of stage 1s. Ooh, almost a good line. But I went in the middle. I didn't go left or right. Left would have been the safer play. Right could have worked if you executed well, but I went down the middle. Although I will definitely say I'd rather have people talking about a little too detailed sex, like jokes, than people talking about politics. So take that as you will, 11. But sex politics, now you're on thin ice, my guy. Wait, ice? Oh my gosh, I just mentioned politics. I gotta ban myself from my own stream. Oop. As 10 years old and you read from a certain forum that no, it is in fact not unreasonable to assume that a 2016 account was made by someone who was 7. Yeah, some people are just terminally ill. Mentally terminally ill. Although one thing you'll notice about a lot of people, not everyone, is that a lot of the people who are mentally challenged online happen to be children. Which makes sense. Theoretically, segmenting this type of thing is a good thing, as I don't want to read the opinions of a 14-year-old's thoughts on politics on the internet. Or on most matters. Like, I used the internet a lot when I was a teenager. But one thing I will say, for various reasons, I was never a commenter or chatter or anything really online. Until I was, like I had, like, group chats and stuff with, like, my friends. But, like, I never I never publicly commented on things. I never used online forums. At least I never, like, posted things or chatted in them. Until... Well, even nowadays, I rarely do much. I know this is coming from the guy who streams and talks, obviously, so I make my thoughts and stuff very well out there, but... The 14 should not have access to internet whatsoever outside of controlled learning environment. I think there are, like, parts of the internet where you could use, but, like, you shouldn't probably be browsing things online. It's a big one. I'm not a Fortnite fan, but if there's a fucking 13-year-old who is playing Fortnite, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to be like, I should be banned for 13-year-olds. Necessarily. I don't think you should be, like... I don't think you should be chatting with people. I don't think you should be, like I said, exploring content. I think there are internet features that are fine if you're young enough. Twitch, I think monitor Twitch environment. Like, there are family-friendly people. Right? I've said this myself. If you tell me that if you come in here and you tell me you're a minor, I will ban you. Okay? Don't do it as a joke, like I said, because I will. Right? I'm not steering my content on here to be family friendly. I'll make sex jokes and stuff, and you know. And here's one thing too. You shouldn't shelter kids from content or from like. It's not necessarily the word. This roadblocks. What is this? Yeah. That came out. Like, there's a point of too much. Like, if you shun people away from stuff, especially like swears and like, you know, inherently like adult stuff. I'm not talking about like porn. I'm talking like sex jokes and stuff. It's like if you're completely like some people will completely turn themselves away from this stuff. It's like there's some exposure that's fine, but like it should be controlled. It should be limited and controlled when you're a minor. And I don't, because again, like I said, there are plenty of family-friendly people who make family-friendly style content. I have a friend who does YouTube full-time. I'm not gonna like necessarily go try a shout-out or anything related to that, but like, and he makes relatively family-friendly content, not like kid. Because, like, you know, if you're on, like, YouTube, there's, like, YouTube Kids, and you can, like, there's the option, like, hey, this content meant for children. Like, not quite like that, but his content's very family-friendly. And, like, I have nephews and nieces who are fascinated with him and love watching his stuff, and I'm like, that stuff, if you're gonna have your kid watch something like that, I don't see any issue with that, necessarily. It's not turning them to an iPad child, right? But, like, there should be limiters. Why did I pause after capping that on? Okay, I'll do this attempt, and then I'll go do a tiny bit of Misumaru spell one, and then I'm gonna do like 10 minutes of runs or something. Still excited me. Oh shit, does that keep you on the screen? Yeah. Well, the big thing I think about monitoring is social media. That's the biggest that's the biggest red flag. Right. if I say that, like, oh, you know, kids shouldn't necessarily have access to the internet, like people under 14, that's the big standout thing. I don't think adults should have access to social media, in all honesty. I think it's beyond terrible for humans. Hello, Gypsum. Like, generally speaking. Like, that's the thing I think that should be, that is, like, the biggest red flag. Oop, that line. You would kill him today? Surely we're gonna kill Nui today. And whatever comes after. Surely we don't throw on Nui, right? I'd never throw. Meanwhile, Chirno and Yuriko looking at me as I forsaked her. Yeah. I've fallen off. Like, another thing the internet does is it gives you a really bad representation of reality. It's very important to go outside and touch grass, haha funny, but like, very important to be able to separate what you see online from reality and how people handle online interactions. Theoretically, the older and more mature you are, the better at odds you have of doing that. Otherwise, social media just turns into, like, middle school. And not just because there's kids around, but, like, that's how, like, the presentation is. And it's not good. I'm glad I never touched Reddit. I do technically have a Reddit. And mostly because there's a Reddit that I despise so much that I literally made a Reddit, and I've had a post that's like, someday, if I want to, I'm just gonna post something in this Reddit that will be the funniest thing, and it'll get me banned on there in like a certain Reddit forum. I was just like, someday maybe I will. I'll post this just for the hell, just because it's so funny. Because there's a really funny edit I asked a friend of mine to make, and it was great. MPN Dom scrolling? What are you Dom scrolling for? Whoa! Does that mean you're looking for a Dom, or you are the Dom? Way to be open about that, though, Gypsum. Slay! Discord? Yeah, I have a handful of Discords I'm in, though not that many. Every once in a while, I'll also look through and hop out of them. I'm not a part of enough Discords that on my computer I have, like, a scroll bar. Where I have to, like, scroll through Discords. Every time my Discord list gets that big, I'm like, hold up, I gotta drop some of these. Even then, there's, like, none I actively browse. There's my own. There's one with me and my, like, that I have for here. There is, one for me and my friends. And there's the egg one. And those are the only three I, like, will actively, like, read through things. Depending on how I'm feeling, too. Servers. Yeah, every time I get, like, 20, I'm like, what am I doing, bro? Like, there's no reason I need to be a part of some of these. Oh, but like 5 years ago, I watched this person. I'm in that Discord. There's no reason for me to be here. Oop. Streamer Discords are my Discords. Eventually, I got to a point where I'm like, what should the, like, what are these, am I, like, what am I, why am I still in this server? What am I gaining from this? From being in the server? If there's literally nothing real to answer for it, then I leave. The answer is basically, basically nothing fits that category. Oops. In fact, now that I think about it, maybe I should look through some of them some more again. Well, like, it's been a while since I joined anyway. The last time I joined a server was the Puppet Dance Performance server, which I joined to get some, like, spreadsheets information. Like, to get, like, boss battle spreadsheet information and, like, the damage calculator for Puppet Dance, which was in there. I grabbed those, and then I left the server. Yeah. I was just playing on words because I assumed you meant doom scrolling, but you typed scrolling, so I was like, you know, typo means get 'em, boys. Honestly, I mostly use Discord for memes, not gonna lie. That's probably like my biggest use for it. There are two chats I use, and they're my most frequented Discord chat, because like in the morning, because when I wake up in the morning, I wake up half an hour before I go to work. I'll go upstairs, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll get something to like, I'll eat something small, I'll drink water, and then I'll lay in bed for like 15 minutes, and I'll just like browse memes while I like wait to go to work. I'll like go through these chats, which I haven't checked in 24 hours since I woke up the previous morning. I'll just like browse for a few memes, and then I'll go to work, and then I don't touch those until probably the next day. Okay, let's go die to Mickey once, and then I'll move on. Great practice day, but it's also getting late. Like, great practice day, I mean, like, not real practice day. Absolute peak. Oop. Like, I don't even use the TRS Discord ever. I go in there like if I have a one, like a notable PB or like my LNNs. I post up those. Otherwise, I don't really touch it. But it is one I do technically touch, so I keep that. But there are not many I have lingering. Using yearly at LNN. Hey, I'm up to averaging 2 a year. Technically, last year I got 3. Although they're basically like about 6 months apart, so that's an average of about 2, right? I got the PCB one last January. Then I got the Subterranean one in, was it July? I think it is. And then the Mountain of Faith one was it the beginning of December or the end of November? I think it was the beginning of December. So it's about 6 months apart for all 6 months and 5 months. So it's averaging half. That's averaging half a year. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance in some of that. Like the first one took me like 3 to 4 months to actually get. It was like 4-ish. I think. Holy, how far to the right are you going, girl? How long would it take me probably for another PCB LNN? Not that long. Especially assuming I'm using the same shot type as before. Like, I'd have to de-rust a little bit. I'm very confident I would get it in under a month. Probably only a couple weeks. 2 to 3, being reasonable. Like, there's variation involved, and spam exists. So probably within a month is a very safe guess, I'd say. Like, I haven't, like, a big thing about PCB, to be fair, is I haven't played in over a year now at this point. And Touhou has a lot of broad skill that carries over from game to game, but it has a lot of individual, like, game skill, game knowledge checks. And learning those is a massive part of the thing. And having already learned a ton of shit in PCB, I have an advantage. But it's been a while since I've used any of that, so there would be a bit of de-rust. And then PCB, which is not that hard, still has its variations, right? It still has its hard things. Just because it's not as hard as some of the others. So. And I'm not a god at Touhou. PCB random speed different from this one. You might be right. I don't remember speed variations. Like, this is something that I've heard from people like Fanny and such, but details of which go over my, like, I think about it and I kind of get thrown over my head. Sanitize and Moth, there you go. Grand Moff Tarkin, favorite Star Wars character? That is not the line I usually do on this section. There are definitely a lot of things at PCB I would be better at than before, too. Than when I did my LNN previously, just because I've gotten better at it as a whole, Touhou. But it's also just not something I'm really interested in, right? Holy Edge, she doesn't even have a health bar? And the other thing is too, if I ever go back to PCB at any point, it would not be Rainbow Homing. Also say that. Like, I'm not interested in hyper optimizing any shots in Touhou. I'm more interested in just getting the perfect clears with the shot type and going to another thing. Character did you go for? So, are you talking about Imperishable Knight? I mean, I'd either do border team or I would do solo Reimu. Obviously, solo Reimu is like significantly worse and has a lot of major issues to it because of solo human shot, yada yada yada. I could go through some details. The difficulty of the run is not necessarily what works me off, although some of the jank of doing solo shot types in that game is weird. It's not something I've spent too much, like, it'd be one of the two, and I'm not, like, gonna say I'd commit to either specifically, just, like... And Perishable, like, what I can safely say is that Perishable Knight's not the game I'm gonna play after this game next. So, like, I would do one of the two. Either board team or solo Reimu, but it's not one of those things that put too much attention into. Boring. Well, solo Reimu is just really slow. Really slow. It's no... Like, solo Sakyu is, like, the worst, right? I think solo Sakyu and, like, solo Marissa are really bad, question mark. Solo Reimu is like the worst or the second worst, I think. No, like the second worst or the third worst, I think. Solo Sakuya in Perishable Knight is like playing Sakuya in PUFB. It's like, what are you doing? So much to say. Oh, Solo Alice. Yeah, okay. There we go. I knew one of that squad was regarded as really bad, but my Perishable Knight knowledge is not that. Oh! She was moving too far to the left, so my damage was also not that great. Okay. Great day. Let's move on. It's been 2 hours.